It's Caroline at For the Love of Crochet, and I have today's podcast filled with so many things that I've been working on. I've joined in a few cals and some crochet alongs, as well as just finishing up some projects that I had. So I'll just start with the first one, which is a mouse along cal that started by Helen's Mousy Makes podcast. And it just happened to be that Simply Crochet came out with a magazine and they had this cute little pattern for a mouse. And I was like, ooh, I want to make that. And then the very next day I saw Helen's Mousy Makes podcast where she was like calling all mouse makers. And so she wanted to do a crochet along. I believe she's going to sew a mouse pattern. She's new to sewing, but as soon as I saw that mouse, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to join in. It'll give me that motivation to work on this project, and I did, and it's so cute. This sweet little mouse. Okay, so she has long arms for this reason right here. So if you notice, she has these long arms because she's going to be a curtain tie back so that we can let in the air, as well as just a cool breeze in the evenings where we could just tie the curtain backs to let that air flow through. It is so cute. Now in the pattern it says to position the head. So this is the front of her body. So in the pattern it says to position her head sideways however you want her. And as you can see, the video that I showed you, it just looks like she's just hanging on for dear life to the curtain, and or she's sliding down the curtain. It's so adorable. So I really love this pattern. I am so glad I did it. It is so cute, and it was the perfect opportunity to work on this. A very simple pattern as well. I think the only thing is I'm not a huge fan of the dress, but it's fine. I think if I wanted to dress it up, but you really can't see it because she's tied onto the curtain the way she's supposed to. You don't see the front of her desk. You're just kind of seeing the back of it. And I really liked doing the tail. It was a very easy pattern for the tail. Everything about this was easy and perfect, and I loved making this. And I believe she positions the eyes in a specific point, whoever the designer is. It was in a Simply Crochet magazine. Now, if you don't get Simply Crochet magazine, if you have the Libby app, you can pretty much see any crochet magazine that you are familiar with. Like I get Crochet Now, Crochet World, all of those are available in my Libby app. And so I just scroll through them, so I don't have to buy anything, but of course you have to return it, so you don't get to keep it in your library, but it's fine. You actually get to see them anytime. The magazines work a little differently where you can just see any edition at any time. The next crochet along is hosted by Litza, and the name of the cal, the crochet along, is called Coco's Crochet Cal 2024, and she is basically drawing projects out of a basket every 2 weeks. And so this 2 weeks is working on washcloth. I had this pattern for a washcloth, and I absolutely, again, this was the perfect opportunity for me to get that motivation to finish it, along with helping me use up my yarn stash. So this is the same yarn that I used for the mouse. So I made her in a cotton cake from Hobby Lobby, the number 3 weight. This is a 3 weight cotton, and she just was perfect size for me. So I had this cotton cake that I wanted to finish up, and I was like, ooh, everything's just falling into line. I'm able to use up more yarn and participate in these crochet cals with friends on YouTube. So here is the first one. Now this is just a gorgeous little washcloth. I find it so cottagecore, very quaint, very cute, just simple yet elegant. It just fits so many descriptions. And if you could make, this would be perfect for a little Mother's Day gift, birthday gift. Make a little spa basket with some decorative little pretty soaps, some Epsom salt, some bathroom essentials that will just be so cute. So I made 2 of these, and I am just thankful that I was able to use up more cotton yarns. I am basically just trying to clean up my stash so that I can get yarn that I'm more prone to using. Now, working with all this cotton yarn has really made me appreciate it. So here is a little stack. Now, I don't know if I'm going to save these for Christmas or birthday gifts, but they are so darling. I really loved it. So I was using up that one. Then I had some white, so I was using that up. I believe I finished the white. And I put a purple edging. So cute. And I used anywhere from a 3.5 to a 4 millimeter hook to make these. And this is a pattern I bought off Etsy. It is so simple, and yeah, there is I'm sure a ton of free washcloth patterns, but none just, this was the style I loved, and I was like, do I want to try and guess what that stitch is? So no, I just bought the pattern, and I am so thankful I did. It's so rewarding to have these, and I can't wait to like gift these up and stick with my little Lush products, whatever it is, make a little gift bag, a little gift basket. I think it would fit perfectly with that. So there we go. There's my little washcloth stack. And the third and final crochet along that I am a part of is by Emma Varnum. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, she is hosting I don't know if she's hosting. She's just kind of like, participate with me. But I think she was just like, tag her so that you guys could see each other's and inspire one another on this challenge. And her challenge is Stash Heap Challenge. Don't we all have a stash heap of challenge? I want to call it the Heap Stash Challenge, but it is the opposite. It is Stash Heap Challenge. Now, Emma Varnum is an author of so many amigurumi books and crochet books. And I have 3 here. So this one's Cute Crocheted Animals. I have made this bunny before with different clothing, and I haven't made anything from this book, but it's Woodland Creatures. Again, Emma Varnum is the author, but not only does she have just regular amigurumi books, she has granny squares for the home. So she has other crochet books other than amigurumi. I believe she has succulents and plants, and I don't want to make plants, so I don't buy those ones, but I really love the amigurumi patterns because she provides patterns for the clothing, which is so awesome, that are interchangeable. Okay, so she's doing a Stash Heap Challenge. Now, I often get overwhelmed by my stash, and I'm constantly cleaning it out because the more things you're bringing in, the more you have to like reorganize and make things work for you. Otherwise, you're buying more of the same thing. And so what I decided to do is clean out my stash, and this is what she was saying. She was saying that from designing for the books, she has so much yarn left over from creating these patterns that she's trying to use up her stash from creating samples for the books and for the pictures. So I have found, I use a lot of 4-way yarns, and I use a lot of the cotton yarns, and the 2 yarns that I don't even bother to use is my 5-weight yarns. And I'm like, you know what? I don't ever pull from this shelf. I might as well get rid of this, as well as my blanket yarn, which I have mentioned before on this channel. I'm not a market prepper, so I'm not stashing, and that yarn takes up so much space. It's just not, I don't want to deal with it. They make great projects and all, but not only is it expensive, it's big, and I don't market prep, so it's okay that I don't have that. So if the yarn that I plan to use up is my 5-weight stash for the Stash Heap Challenge that Emma Varnum is doing. Now I'll link all 3 of these videos below from these 3 podcasters. Emma Varnum has the most gorgeous blanket she is doing with her stash heap. Ooh, it is stunning. Now what she did is she was getting inspired by quilt patterns, and I am all over that. I love it. It is gorgeous. But if you don't want to deal with a bunch of ends, then that project is not going to be for you. But the end result is so stunning. Anyway, so in that Stash Heap Challenge, this is my first project. It is this luscious hat. Now, where I live, I don't need a hat like this. I'm always hot in my little situation. But this is the softest, so luxurious. I'm making this for my son who lives in a colder climate. And I don't think he'll want a, what's that called? Pom-pom on the end. So he's coming to visit, and so since he's coming to visit, I want to ask him, hey, do you want me to stick a pom-pom on this, or do you want me to leave it as is? Because I'm going to give it to him when he's here. So yeah, this is awesome. I'll have him try it on and take a picture of him. Let's see how he does. Anyway, this is gorgeous. Now, if you made the hobby, if you were able to go and stack up on the yarn from Hobby Lobby during their clearances, this yarn is 80% acrylic and 20% polyamide. It is a 5-weight yarn, and it is called Romantique. So if you have this yarn in your stash, this is gorgeous. If I can find the pattern that I used, this is simply a basic beanie, and then you tighten up the end at the top. Nothing else. There's no edging. It is the most simplest thing ever. And I have this yarn in pink and in my signature color turquoise. So you will see 2 more hats like this. Oh gosh, this feels so yummy. I love it. It's so soft and warm. So I'm very happy. I think I only had 2 or 3 balls, and I think that was my plan when I bought them. I was like, oh, I'm going to make a hat. So I made the hat. So all these crochet alongs are really helping inspire and motivate me. So I'm going to get a move on 2 more hats using turquoise and pink yarn. This hat is gorgeous. Oh, it is so lovely. Oh, it's so lovely. Okay, the washing on this is, I don't understand the symbols. Definitely don't iron. Maybe wash in cold water and flat to dry, if I'm reading these symbols correctly on how to manage that one. So those are the 3 crochet alongs that I'm in, and I'm so thankful that they were hosting these because they really inspired me. Okay, on to some makes. So in my last podcast, I made this cute little mermaid from a new book I got from Joe's Web, Joe at Joe's Web, and I forgot all the details on her, you know, tail here. Well, I just thought, you know what? I put these little sequins in and they worked perfectly for a little added sparkle, like it's, you know, moisture, wet. And you know, you can get these at the Dollar Tree. Here's a big stack of them. And I just put them in this little glass jar because I save my glass jars. These are the dessert cups that you get at Costco, and they come with little plastic lids. So I thought it was perfect to put in here. And so yeah, I finished her. So now she is done. So she has her little sparkly little details on her tail. So yes, she is done. Next up is, you know, doing the cleaning mode. I came across a pattern that I completely forgot about or was stashed somewhere deep in the yarn closet, and it was this bunny. Now, I mentioned that this is one of the most challenging patterns I have made, but if done right, if you're paying attention, I believe I was not in a good state when I was doing this, but the shaping and the design on this, everything is crocheted on, and the pattern is so detailed. It is so cute. The yarn I was using was a little challenging as well. It had a little bit of fuzz to it. Anyway, I finished it. This was a long time ago. I wasn't in the right headspace to work on it. Her body portion is off here. No fault of the pattern. It was just challenging for me to read and understand with my foggy brain right now. And you can put the ears any way you want. So I did one up and one down. Anyway, I finished it. But this designer, this is what it's supposed to look like. It is so gorgeous and so detailed. It says Joe Handmade Designs, and the pattern is called Brandy. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see all the details on this, but look, I mean, you can turn it into a keychain. She gives you all the patterns for everything that you see, the headbands, the putting fabric in the ears, everything is included in this pattern, and it's right here. Very good designer, but if you're looking for simple, you know, that it's very detailed. Very cool. Here's my pattern for the tie here. It was supposed to be for the headband, but I used a different weight yarn and I had trouble using the pattern. So I did the best I could, but I do love the end result. It is such a unique pattern. I believe this is a 4-weight yarn, but it has no frogging capability. So if I made a mistake, it's stuck there. So yeah, there it is. But I really would like to attempt that again, but I have to be in the right headspace and have no distractions. Next up on the Amigurumi list, I've been getting Enabled by Julie at KS Mom. You are not alone, I am positive. She showed this book and I was all over it. There is so many patterns in here, 23 toys to crochet, and I wanted to crochet quite a few of them, but I went with one that, you know, which one I made. I made the bunny. Now, this was so cute and so easy to make and a little different, you know, like putting it around a button, that is a cute idea. It did come with a flower and fabric cheeks, but every fabric I had, it just didn't look like it would fit properly, so I opted not to do it. So here she is. So she has these fabric circles and then this flower. That is the only thing that I'm missing. But if you notice, they did very small eyes and a mouth and no nose. So that could be why. Let's take a look. So I used these eyes and a bigger pink nose, all from the safety stuff. I'm not going off memory. I'm not sure if this is like all worked into one or if I attach the head, but it looks like my head is a little loopy, lopsided, not stuffed right. Or maybe just a little too narrow here. Well, it is what it is. Anyways, I did make the flower, but apparently I didn't understand that pattern too well either. I did not like it. It looked a little off to me, and I didn't have a color that I wanted to put on there. So I was trying to match the purple on here is why I chose that purple. And then I decided to use the flower from my flower blanket I'm making, the hexagon, and that is much cuter, but it's just too big. So I didn't do that one. And then the fabric circles, again, just too big. And I didn't like that there wasn't quite enough space to put these little babies. So I thought it looked better without it. So I didn't do it. I could blush her cheeks and then find a smaller flower to put on her. There we go. I made one from that book. Thank you for enabling me, Julie, because this is an awesome little pattern book. I really like the little girl in here. I want to make this one. I think she's adorable and she looks like a ragdoll style. So that was that. Okay, and then here's another pattern from the past. So I believe I was making a cat for a birthday girl, and this pattern was taking forever and very challenging for me. So I was almost done too. I completely scrapped it, put it in a bag and hid it in the closet, and started a completely new pattern that I totally loved. If I can find a picture. So that was the cat I really did, but this is the cat I didn't finish. So here she is. But she's no longer a cat. I turned her into a fox because of the yarn that I chose, and when she was all done, she just looked like a fox. So instead of making the cat tail, I made a fox tail. And this is two patterns that I used from Pika-Pow. So in Pika-Pow 2, they have this cat. And this is the cat that I was going to make. Notice her dress and the long skinny tail. The lots of color changes here, and the big bow I didn't do. So this was the cat I was making, but I opted not to do it because if you know Pika-Pow, if you have her pattern books, she works all her patterns from top down rather than bottom up. When you do that, it makes it a little difficult to crochet the legs with one limb sticking out. And the only thing I can think of to help with that is to work them both at the same time, making those legs grow so that you're not fumbling through this one leg sticking up. But then you would need 2 balls of yarn to do that. So anyway, it's a hassle. That's why I'm not a total fan of working these patterns, because they go from top down. And because this had so many color changes and stuff, I was having to work backwards. Wherever there was a decrease, I would increase, and whenever there was an increase, I would decrease. I don't know if you know that, but anyways, it got confusing. The body ended up so small, but I finished it and I did it, and I do love how she came out, and I love this color of the fox. Yes, there she is. Such a cute little fox. So I did do the color changes, but this tail doesn't really fit under her dress, so it was a little too snug. So I had to like pick it up a little. This dress is removable because it is just tied at the back. Anyway, so she's a fox and she's done, and I'm so glad. And I used the pattern from the first book of Peek-a-Pow because she has a fox in here, and so I just used the tail pattern from this fox to go with that cat. So yes, I was able to finish up 2 previous patterns that gave me such a headache before. Done. So happy. I was able to work on a new Amigurumi book and participate in 3 crochet alongs. So that is what I have been up to. What have you been up to? Are you joining in any of these cals? Let me know in the comments. And thank you to, I have 3 submissions to Hooking Up with Books. So if you're new here, I'm Caroline, and I hope my friend Craftably Ever After and I host a crochet book club called Hooking Up with Books, and we are currently reading The Marsh King's Daughter, and I've already received 3 entries. So happy. Thank you so much. This is going to go on until July 15th. So you have plenty of time to read and crochet something. And don't worry about spoiling anything for me if you send me your emails and want to give me details. I have already read the book, so no worries there. You can send me your details. It's fine. All right. I think that's it for now, and I shall see you again soon. Bye.